can't stop thinking that everything's hopeless.
Hello, my name is Waleska Marmalejos, and I'm a licensed social worker with a background in grief and bereavement with children and teens and young adults. I also provide therapeutic services to college students dealing with depression, anxiety, and trauma, as well as loss of loved ones. This clip we are about to watch from Danny's story, Danny opens up to Lynn, his physical therapist, about how he's been doing and seeks help.
What's going on, Danny?
I can't stop thinking that everything's hopeless.
Danny feels hopeless in navigating his new normal after his accident. His body language communicates feelings of depression and that things are not okay. Lynn can pick up on things being really difficult for Danny and is supportive and asks him what is going on.
Even when I'm having fun, I'm still this other broken person. Nothing will ever be normal again.
Danny, you're not broken. Did you think about making a safety plan?
I think it's wonderful that Lynn asks him about a safety plan and that it's important for adolescents to have these relationships where they feel comfortable and supported to discuss what is going on. Having an adult figure to speak openly with when you might not feel comfortable or supported at home can make a huge difference in a young person's life. When Danny's in these physical therapy sessions with Lynn, it's like the only time he kind of opens up because it's removed from home and Lynn is able to be a more objective presence in his life. For those who may not know what a safety plan is, it is an actual plan that a person comes up with in case of any thoughts of either suicide or harming themselves. And some things that can be included in a safety plan are people's telephone numbers within the person's support system, also local hospital numbers, crisis text line or crisis numbers to call in case that these thoughts are very strong, as well as a reminder that 911 is also a way that this individual can receive help in case everyone else in the safety plan is not available.
Yeah, I'm at the end of my list and I need help.
Okay. What do you need?
Do you have the name of that person you mentioned? The therapist?
I sure do.
Thanks.
So we learned that Danny has gone through his safety plan and is at the last step, which is asking for help. He trusts Lynn to ask for that help to speak to a mental health professional. Lynn had asked him in an earlier moment if he'd want to talk to someone about how he's been feeling. And when Danny initially pushed the idea off for a while, not feeling ready for that, Lynn definitely understood. It was great for Lynn to put the idea out there and let Danny come to it on his own terms. Some different ways that a parent or caregiver can provide these types of tools or suggestions to a teenager like Danny to stay safe in times of crisis are very similar to what Lynn has done, is offer some suggestions, have the resources available, even if the teenager or the adolescent is not ready for that type of step yet. For instance, speaking to a mental health professional, but also being calm, being very understanding, and validating that what this teenager is going through is valid, and there are definite reasons for those types of feelings to be coming up, and it's normal.
You're gonna be okay, Danny.
Lynn is a reassuring adult in Danny's life, and adolescents definitely need adults who they can trust to go to whenever they are in need of any type of support, especially when it comes to grief and bereavement. Danny is grieving and adjusting to a very new version of himself, a version of himself after the trauma of experiencing a fire, the loss of a limb, the loss of normalcy as we knew it. He has experienced several different types of loss throughout this, so he's definitely grieving. And parents and caretakers really do need to keep the doors open and be supportive for their children during periods of grief. A lot of times, as parents or caretakers, we do not want to see our children sad or crying or upset. So what we tend to do is say everything is going to be okay. And in times like this, that is not the way to go, because they need to feel validated for how they are feeling. They need for these feelings to be normalized, because a lot of times in these periods of grief, they feel as though no one understands. They feel as though what they are feeling is not normal. So normalizing is also very, very important. Now, grief doesn't always show up as sadness the way many people think that grief shows up. It can come up in various forms in your child. And most of the time, they're not going to tell you that they are struggling. So any types of behavioral changes are signs that your child may be struggling with grief or some other type of issue. Some behavioral change examples could be a child who is normally very optimistic, does very well in school, is very social, all of a sudden has been isolating, withdrawing, and struggling with schoolwork and tests. So just knowing some of the ways that grief can come up will allow parents and caretakers the opportunity to start supporting their children during these periods of grief. I'm Waleska Marmolejos with this Parent Guidance Moment. Thank you for sharing this moment with me.